Welcome to today's episode of Forward Thinking Founder Stories, brought to you by Fox Williams. Our Founder Stories series shines a light on the remarkable journeys of underrepresented founders. As part of our ongoing efforts to support diverse entrepreneurial talent, we've created a platform where these inspiring people share their stories, lessons learned, and the unique challenges they've overcome. Throughout this series, we'll delve into the personal business journeys of our guests, explore pivotal moments that shape their success, and uncover invaluable insights for other aspiring entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we're joined by Laura, founder of Knitregen. She shares her story and journey to becoming a founder. We hope you find this conversation as inspiring as we did when recording it. Now, without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm the founder of Knitregen. Knitregen is a wearable MedTech business. We are developing wearable actuators which can be stitched into clothing or embedded into accessories or smartwatches that helps people regain movement in their muscles. So they may have been paralysed as a result of stroke or other conditions, and we are using a different method, a non-invasive method of being able to help them regain lost movement as a result of their brain injury.
So Laura, would you just kind of be able to give us a snapshot of your founder journey today, where you've come from and where you're hoping to go?
Yeah, so it was a really unexpected journey into entrepreneurship. I was completing my PhD at the Royal College of Art, and during that time, during the research, I found a huge gap in provisions for stroke. I come from a materials background, and I've always wanted to do something of a higher purpose than just the throwaway culture of what is currently within the industry that I would have otherwise entered. And essentially, I met a wonderful neuroscientist during my research, Professor Stuart Baker, and we came together to develop a new device that could really revolutionise what stroke care is at the moment, but with the wider opportunities in, say, sports recovery, for those with cerebral palsy, MS, so lots of different applications in the future. And it was through the university that they identified there was a patent potential to the technology that I was developing. We filed the patent, we've since had that granted, and now we are looking to develop that, enhance that further and optimise it to make the user experience as best as it can. So I think the journey into entrepreneurship really developed from a passion in research and trying to really understand what is needed, what are the pain points that exist within stroke.
Amazing. That's such an inspiring kind of movement. And what are you looking forward? What do you think your sort of biggest goals, visions, hopes are for the business?
Yeah. We really, what gets us up in the morning is being able to help people who have been signed off and said, sorry, we can't help you anymore. This is what you're going to have to put up with for the rest of your life. And it affects their mental health. It affects their families, friends, and they lose their jobs overnight. They lose everything. Some of them even lose partners. So for us to rebuild lives through our technology and see people, regaining movement that clinicians have said, sorry, this actually cannot happen. It's never going to happen. And showing that potential is our first, piece that we really want to crack. And then it's about applying that to other areas, other conditions, and saying, we can actually revolutionise how we interact with our muscles, artificially, through our clothing, through our accessories. Things can be happening. We can be building strength in our muscles without us having to lift a finger. And I think that's the aim, that's the ambition, is for a healthier population, for athletes to push themselves further, and for people to recover movement who have, completely lost hope.
And you kind of touched on the impact that the university had in sort of supporting you to get to where you are now. Are there any other kind of big supporters or mentors that you can kind of recall from your time getting to where you are, and who are they?
Yeah. Absolutely pivotal, to our journey is Professor Stuart Baker. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are today. There's Dr. Rachel Stockley, who's physio. She was one of the first physios in the UK to be awarded a UKRI Future Leaders Fellowship. So she's really excelling in her area, and she's always been a close advisor to what we're doing here. And more recently, we've got a real important connection and support from Dr. Nick Ward from UCLH and the Upper Limb program there. So it's a complete... He's a pioneer in terms of stroke rehab in the UK. It's almost, it's the gold standard of everybody flocking to him for support, and he's completely backing us. So I think it's absolutely fantastic to have people on board who understand the vision and can advise, in the capacity of saying this is how we need to achieve, credibility in this field.
Yeah, and obviously it sounds like it's going really well for you, which is amazing. But when it comes to kind of setbacks, failures, which everyone has when they're on a founding journey, how do you deal with failure and setbacks? What's your kind of approach to getting through them?
I think resilience is key with anything, with any setback. Obviously, it results in sleepless nights, it's unavoidable completely. But, these things happen. And actually, I feel that if there wasn't any failure, then there's nothing to learn from. You learn from things that go wrong. You don't learn from things that go right. So, we've had issues where we've, had equipment fail on us. We've had to troubleshoot and work out what's going on. But we've learnt so much more about our tech through that process, that I wouldn't change that.
Do you think there's kind of a unique perspective that female founders specifically bring to the table, and what is that, and how have you found sort of working in this network of other female founders?
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure. I never really think too much about being a female founder, because I feel that can then, set this mindset about, female founders in the environment and how underserved that they are, which they are. It's a fact. Undersupported, underserved, and underrepresented. I think we try and make the most out of as little that we have, and we try and push the boundaries in that respect. But I think, I like to take a risk. I like to go and, say, well, we need to push this forward, and we need to try and step out of our comfort zones. But equally, it can be really intimidating, moving into this whole area and trying to learn a new language. I think the confidence is really key and really important. That's what I've learned from this circle of female founders, is without the confidence, then people are less likely to take you seriously, no matter what it is that you're doing. I think most of the time it's body language, and it's that behaviour that you're conveying to somebody else. So I think that's probably the key learning that I've gained so far on my journey.
Yeah. And what sort of role has legal advice played up to date, or what role do you maybe hope that it will play as you kind of continue on?
Yes, so legal advice has been critical to just working through any issues that we have. For example, with IP, this is the biggest thing with our company, is it's heavily IP based. We have a patent, and negotiating that and working around and responding to examination, queries and getting through that has been important to have that advice on board. But equally, it's with people management and ensuring that you are able to put the correct and fair contracts in place, so that, you yourself as a business are doing the right thing, but equally you're getting what you need from the employers as well. So there's a mutual benefit there. It's been critical, and I think, the team is everything, really. The team is everything in a company. So having that advice and support has been crucial to build a strong team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very true. And just to sort of round us off, any advice that you've kind of been given that you think has been particularly great, or any advice that you'd like to give future female founders kind of coming up through their scaling journey?
I think fear is a good thing. Fear means growth. Fear means that you should be going in that direction potentially, because it means that you are outside of your comfort zone. And if you remain in your comfort zone, then, you know, how do you progress? How do you move forward? And that's probably the biggest piece of advice that I've been given. It means that I've been able to contact people who I thought were intimidating before and formed really strong and important connections with them. So, you know, that is important, no matter what your personality type may be, is to listen to that instinctual feeling that you have, support that with key evidence and advice, and go for it. You know, go for it today and don't waste time.
If you're interested in learning more about our upcoming underrepresented female founder events, or how you can get involved in this network, please be sure to check out the episode notes for further details.